It's slightly a little bit past 8:45, but it's that time of the week again. You know what it is? It's time for the creme de la creme of MRC, the Tier 1 boys racing around the streets of Las Vegas. Joining me tonight is a bit of a living legend with MRC. We wouldn't all be here, as I say, and this league would not be going for if it wasn't for him to get it started with. It is the man, the myth, the legend. It is our benevolent leader. It is Martin Hills is with me tonight. Evening, Martin.
Hello, less of the benevolent.
Oh, as I say, we all appreciate the work. As I say, you had to get around here all off the ground. It's look at the success it's become.
Right now I'm not having a lot of success myself because I can't actually see anything. So I'm just restarting the game, and hopefully I'll be able to say something useful soon. First time for everything.
Oh, you say many useful things. Don't worry about it. But
not about anything interesting though.
We'll see. But now, after a bit of an eventful Tier 2 race, it is time for the Tier 1 boys and see how they get on tonight. Let's have a look and see who we can spot quickly, as we've had a few, unfortunately due to the street starting a little bit late, we've had a few people do some laps already, as Jules takes the overall fastest lap of the session so far with a 1:30.9, but I think as the track rubbers in, I think that's going to get a lot faster. We've got a few people just on outlaps at the moment. Oh, let's catch Ujoni as he's finishing up his lap quickly and see where the championship leader is going to end up. You can see it being quite close to Jules' time. Settles into second on a 1:30.9. Wow, 700 between them after those first flying laps, but we will see. Is he back in as Ben says to you, Ujoni, anything you could do, I could do a little bit better than you can, and goes straight into pole. Has the rejoin fixed everything?
I'm still in the process of trying to do that. Just bear with me. Sorry.
No worries, no worries. I'll keep
My game is doing weird things, unfortunately.
I'll keep the audience entertained for a few minutes just while we sort out these technical difficulties. It's unfortunate the Sky Sports didn't put a troubleshooting guide in the comms box tonight for us, which is it's unfortunate, but we press on the best we can. This one, let's keep an eye on the chattest of ducks, Mr. Nev, see if he can get a good banker lap in as he finishes up the first sector of the lap. Not the biggest fan of that top part of the course there. It's just very finicky. I was struggling a lot in the Tier 2 race.
Cars! Hooray!
Yay! We have vision! We can see!
Right, okay, right. Well, I'm watching. I've just come in and I can see Benny's obviously doing his thing. He's been very, very rapid, hasn't he? It's a bit alarming, that.
He has. It's been nice to. No offense to Ujoni, it's been nice to see someone give him a quite a good run this season.
To see him get challenged, yeah, for sure.
But to be fair, it'll help Ujoni in the long run, as I say, is improve, as I say, if he's got the challenge.
Yeah, I mean, that's not to say he doesn't get challenged, but it tends to be a variety of people who fight amongst themselves, and occasionally one of them comes to the front and challenges him, whereas Benny seems to be able to do it fairly consistently. Yeah,
he's been doing it on quite a regular basis this season, hasn't it? Because he's just over a race win behind Ujoni at the moment. I believe the gap was about 28 points, but I think he did miss one of the races early on in the year at Hungary. But if it was only that one race, he could have been a bit closer.
Yeah, so I'm just having a quick look at see who's out on track on a lap. It's one of those tracks where sort of not a lot happens, then everything seems to happen at once. Yeah,
it's being a street track, it does rubber in quite a lot towards the end. It's a lot more where the grip's going to come. Will be towards the end of the session where it's all at its fastest.
Looks like we've got a few people further down. No, everyone I look at goes into the pits.
I've managed to catch the tyre whisperer in his very nice Aston Martin. See what he's going to do, and he just decides just to straight line one of the corners as we're watching him.
I think Nick BT's coming through on a lap.
Oh, let's go down quickly to Nick. as he's just starting a lap, which we'll have to do a quick onboard a bit later on in the session just to get a quick quick run around this place. Fan of it, are you, Martin? Or
do you know what? I actually do like it. I think it's easy. It's my favourite American track.
That's bold, especially with Kota.
I despise Kota with a passion. I don't know why. I can't. I just can never hook up with Kota. Yeah, I quite like the sort of Monza-iness of it. It's sort of, you know, big long straights, but with some sort of quite technical corners. I actually think it's quite a good track. I think it's actually quite demanding in a way. I mean, getting the braking right, especially without ABS, is very tricky.
Yeah, there's going to be a few lockups tonight, I think.
Yeah, I mean, into the final sort of, it's not the final corner, but you know what I mean. It's actually the 3 corners from the end, isn't it?
It's that final complex, yeah.
The pig's bum.
Which is where Nick's is going through now.
Yes, indeed. That's a tricky corner.
Yeah, it is to gauge the braking right. I binned it a little bit in our qualifying session.
I may have spotted that.
Oops.
But yeah, no, it's really. I think that's where most of the if you end up with time penalties and invalidations and stuff, that's where it tends to happen. Is that corner?
Definitely, I can agree.
It's that one where you can slightly misjudge it, whereas actually the other place tends to be in the pig's front foot.
Yeah, just after that first sector, it's that turn 7 braking zone. It's a real struggle on that one, actually. I find I'm always braking a bit too early for it, and it.
About 80 metres, I think, isn't it? Sort of, yeah, somewhere around there. So just after you go past the 100.
Yeah, I was just quickly on board with Reese there, and it was just smoke. He got the car really sideways going into that, just going onto the back straight.
So, I think Benny is on a lap himself at the moment, isn't he? Oh, blimey! It's like watching Colin McRae going through the pig's trotter.
Oh, is this all we're naming the track now for the rest of the night, are we?
I can't remember the numbers. It's clearly a pig. Just go by anatomy, for crying out loud.
Yeah, I think...
He's going round the snout. Look at it, he's round the snout. Lovely. Now he's going across the top of its head. It makes perfect sense.
Well, we've got our recurring gag for the night, haven't we?
He's now just slithering around the pig's neck, and he's going to gently stroke its back right now, and he's rapidly heading straight towards pig's bunghole. Actually, you got the squiggly tail, then the bunghole. So
yeah,
the right hander here is that squiggly tail entering the bunghole, and then down the back of the pig's thigh.
At least you didn't have to buy dinner first.
No, it's definitely an easy pig. And
wow.
Yeah,
that's the moving of the goalpost.
It is. Is Ugoni on a lap as well? He is, isn't he? I think. So how's he doing?
He is. He's just coming through the first.
He's down
now, but
he's down.
There's a lot of traffic ahead of him though, so I don't think he's gonna. I think he's gonna bail on this lap.
Yeah, he's 7/10 down at sort of the end of that sector.
Already, we've got 9 viewers already in for tonight.
He's actually. I think he may be on his way back into the pits. Actually.
Yeah, I'm just going quickly on board with Dynamite. He's managed to pick up a bit of a toe off the Visa, Cash App, RB, Spotify, PayPal. I can't remember what they're called each week.
Well, they've now, in inverted commas, clarified that, haven't they? That next year they're going to be called Racing Bulls, which is ridiculous.
I think the more ridiculous thing is that they can't decide who they're going to want to drive the cars yet.
Well, that's because Red Bull have just messed up quite badly, haven't they, when it comes to their sort of what's the word I'm looking for? Their progression plan.
The driver academy, yeah.
They haven't really got the right people in the right places at the right times, and it's biting them in the bum. And if they'd just gone for science when they had the chance to go for science earlier in the year, then they wouldn't have this problem, would they? So.
Yeah, that is very true. But I'm looking forward to seeing how Carlos gets on next year.
Williams.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting for him.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he's driven the car. It's quite weird seeing him in a Williams at the test, but yeah, I think their performance was a bit masked this year because of the fact that they weren't able to develop the car like they intended to, because they basically ended up breaking it so much earlier in the year. So apparently that's affected their development quite badly this year. They had things in place that they weren't able to manufacture.
Yeah, I suppose the crash budget did go a little bit astronomical a little bit through the season, didn't it, really?
Yeah, and then Carlo Pinto added to it somewhat as well. So
yeah, just a bit in Brazil. I'm looking forward to seeing how he gets on as well, and especially because he's going to be bringing in some of the money from Ferrari as well, because I know they'll have the Santander sponsorship next year as well with Williams.
From Carlos, yeah.
That will be nice. While we were lamenting about 2025, and manages to put it into P4. Still,
I was watching entirely the wrong person then.
Who were you catching a glimpse of?
I was actually following a car that wasn't even on a lap. I just realised that. But hey, everyone's in the pit. What's happening? It's going to be chaos in the last 3 minutes, isn't it?
Yeah.
Everyone is going to go out within the next 30 seconds.
Oh yeah, it's going to be complete and unadulterated anarchy in the next few minutes, and I think the president of the Patrick Bamford fan club has timed it quite nicely, Mr. Bailey.
So Ant is about to start a lap, I think.
I'm going to keep an eye quickly on Chris and see how he gets on.
He's putting in. Of course, he's just finished his lap, hasn't he? I thought he might have been doing a double lap, but he's not. He's not going to get in and back out again, though.
No, I don't think he's going to. Yeah, but I know, as we say, I'm going to just have a quick glance through Chris as he's getting around turn 2 as he heads onto the first DRS straight. Here, it's a little splash down heading down the street straight down to turn 3. Nice little 90.
The pig's armpit.
Oh yes, I'll get these names right towards the end of the night. Trust me.
I'm sure these will be official next year.
Oh, I hope so. Make the commentary a lot more entertaining. Heads down, past through the first sector as he's going down the blast as he heads down towards the strip on the back straight.
This is an easy corner to get wrong that he's heading up to now. Very easy to get your braking wrong into there and just miss the apex.
Or clip the wall.
Did he just glance to the wall? Yeah.
I think he did, and I think he may have luckily glanced off, not taking the front wing with him.
No, but it'll be costly down that straight, unfortunately.
Yeah, the momentum's going to be wrecked, and I think he's backed out.
Yeah, that's a shame.
I wonder if he's going to go again, and I wonder if he's got damage to the car, though.
Not that I can see.
It's going to be...
He's going to have trouble getting that battery recharged to anything useful before the finish, though, isn't he?
Yeah, unfortunately.
I think he is probably going to try to go again, but yeah, if he's starting with 2/3 of his battery.
Not good, especially when this place... the recharge isn't too bad around here, actually.
It's tricky to get the deployment right, though. It's easy to actually run out of deployment.
Yeah, I think I've done it on a few occasions in a few races here. It's just, you just drink it down that last straight just before the start-finish line.
Yeah, I mean, the thing to do is knock it into standard mode, sort of through the pig's armpit and out through the end of the first trotter. And stick it back into hot lap after that, basically, and that leaves you enough deployment to give it a massive blast of overtake down the straight.
There you go, some useful advice from multiple champion.
Well, if you mean Brendan Lee, then yeah.
Oh, don't say yourself short.
That's what he says to do.
Someone else has been following his videos as well, so I'm just going to keep an eye quickly on Saviour and see how he gets on.
I'm going to have a look at Ugoni and see what he's up to.
The Ugoni.
He's just actually coming through to finish his lap.
Oh, let's go quickly to him. See how he gets on, because don't think he's going to sneak pole. This one, I don't think the gap's big. And
no.
Just
improves, but that's close, isn't it?
Yeah. Jules is just on an early lap. Ben's down a little bit.
We've got a few people coming through further back.
Oh, Ben's gone straight on. He's off at the tail. Jules has invalidated his lap. That's just coming through the front leg now. Oh god, that's stuck in my head now for the rest of the night.
At least you know what you're talking about.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I'm interested to see whether Baby Hornet can improve, because he was lightning in practice this week.
Yeah, he was on the session on Sunday.
In practice, but I saw the times.
Yeah, the session on Sunday, I think he ended up fastest.
I'm not sure he's going to be. Well, actually, no.
Fastest tonight.
No, he's a little bit off there, unfortunately. I'm not sure he's going to improve either. Oh! Nearly crashed over the line.
Oh, don't be doing that.
Not deliberately. There's a lot of people not improving.
No, it's weird. Did you think the track would rubber in by now? P3. Yep. Managed to displace Jules.
And yeah, Jules is actually invalidated. I just saw him go deep into the into the pig's squeak.
Yeah, if it's the track map goes completely red, you can tell the laps.
Yeah, no, I literally just saw him do it. He went deep into that final left-right chicane.
Yeah, as you said during the session, it's easy to do.
I think he nearly went into the wall. Actually, it was very close.
Yeah, not all about that feeling. And I think that is qualifying.
Yeah,
fast and frenetic.
Is complete.
Fast and frenetic.
It's pretty tight between the top two there.
Oh yeah, less than just over a tenth between Ben and Nujoni. It's like Proston Centre all over again a little bit, isn't it?
I've got to say, Ant's in quite a nice position. I don't think I'd really want to be first or second on the grid here.
Yes,
it's again like Monza. It's one of those
Spa
races
as well.
where, yeah. Well, I don't know. Spa, at least you've got a little bit of time to get away from people. It's a long lap with some areas where people can make mistakes, but yeah, it's just it's a tricky track to get away from the people behind you.
I'm just gonna have a quick skim through the grid for everybody. So in this one, Ben on pole, Jody second. No, I'm not going to do that in 6 seconds, am I? I'm not even going to attempt it. So as we head to the 5-minute interval we have before the race, any early predictions from yourself, or?
I think Ant is the dark horse here, because he tends to have better race pace than qualifying pace, and he's not that far off.
He's not.
He's also going to have the benefit of double helpings of DRS everywhere and slipstreams. So he could be in quite a handy little position there, I suspect.
I can agree.
Yeah. I can see in the chat that Sam Flan has said that it's forecast as rain. Well, the funny thing is, here you go. Here's a fun fact for you, right?
Ooh.
He's put in the this is in the Discord chat. He's put rain again in Vegas this time. But do you know that Vegas gets massive amounts of rain?
I did not.
It does. It has underneath Las Vegas. There are huge storm drains and tunnels, and it's because it gets these huge deluges of rain, and because it's all baked really hard, it would flash flood if it wasn't for all these tunnels and ducts underneath the city. Apparently, it's one of the biggest tunnel networks in the world. That's
impressive.
Yeah.
I was unaware of that.
Yeah, well, I heard about it in a podcast I was listening to.
Nothing
to do with Formula One. It was actually to do with alleged scary stuff that happens in the tunnels underneath Las Vegas.
The more you know. But that doesn't really surprise me. It is pretty much out in the middle of the desert, isn't it, Nevada? So.
Yeah, well, it's there for a reason, as opposed to convenience, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, I guess so.
Has it ever appealed to you?
The track?
Just the place.
I think it's never really been one of the places I thought I'd immediately just go, right, first place I want to go on holiday, Vegas.
No.
It seems a bit too cliche, if you ask me.
Well, it's just such a massive country with so many things going on. Like a load of casinos in the middle of the desert, pretending to be a load of places that are different places in the world. I don't know. Doesn't appeal to me. I'd rather go and see some interesting stuff, I think. But yeah.
Oh, each to their own.
It's also the most expensive race in the world to go to, isn't it? It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I've saw some of the prices from this year and last year's Grand Prix, and my eyes were watering a little bit.
Yeah, you're talking thousands, aren't you?
Yeah, especially because I believe they were. I think I heard from last year's race they were actually like putting up. They were blocking a lot of the bridges, weren't they?
Yeah, there was some footage of some people who'd found a hack where they hadn't even paid to get in and they could see the race. So it is possible, but apparently you can't walk around it. Your ticket literally allots you to part of the track, and you cannot go anywhere else. Whereas most tracks you go to, you pay your entrance fee, and you basically get. You know, if for example you buy a grandstand seat, you get your grandstand seat, but also you can wander around anything that's general admission as well. But apparently there's no general admission in Vegas.
Very weird, especially because you'd think they'd have the facilities for it.
Well, it's because they're trying to control the access people have got so that they can charge more money.
Oh yeah. At least it's marginally better than the last time they were here in Vegas.
Well, it's produced good races both times they've had a race here.
I mean, as I say, the first time they were here, it was in a car park.
Oh yeah, back in the 80s, yeah.
It was a car park in the middle of the sun.
Yeah, I'm trying to think when the last race was in Vegas. It was because they went to it was early 80s, wasn't it, Vegas, and then they went off to they had Caesar's Palace car park was where they had it originally. Yeah,
not the best of circuit maps.
No, and then they went off to where was it? It was a street track. It's where Senna got challenged by a Lacey.
Phoenix.
Yeah, that's it. I don't know why I wasn't wanting to say Phoenix. That was literally in my mouth, and I didn't want to say it. But yeah,
tip of your tongue.
Where a Lacey passed Senna in a Brabham.
Yeah, the Tyrrell. I remember.
A Tyrrell. Sorry, yeah, it was Tyrrell. Yeah, I was just thinking blue and white Tyrrell. Yes. Yeah, Brabham at that point was blue and pink and purple.
Oh, I remember those, but
where a certain Mr. Hill got his break.
Yes, he did, 92. But I'm just having a quick glance on this. Joni's gone the opposite way to what he normally does. He's gone on starting on the medium tyres. Yeah, he's going on the medium tyres to start with. He normally takes the alternate strategy. A lot more people starting on the hards than I believe the Tier 2 race.
There wasn't. It was a long time. If you get a quick safety car, it sort of works. But it's sort of you're in a bit of no man's land if you get like a safety car about a third of the way through, or very quickly. It's kind of difficult. It's sort of because the mediums aren't very good after about lap 8. So
yeah, the cold temperatures don't help here either, do they?
No. I don't know what's going on, but I now have no display. Where's that all disappeared to?
What, on the stream?
Yeah, it's come back again now. No, on my problematic PS4 that I commentate with.
The alternate console.
Yeah, well, it's a long story, but my next door neighbour is a nurse and she sleeps funny times of the day, and I don't like sort of yelling in the room next door to her at night. So I understand. Downstairs, yeah.
I understand, but I'm just going to switch off the HUD a little bit just so we can have a nice clearer view of the start. As everybody seems to be lining up around the corner a little bit. It still reminds me of old Silverstone, this a little bit.
Yeah, round the corner.
Yeah, but reversed as just last Sauber's coming into line now. One light, two lights, 3, 4, 5, and the Tier 1 Vegas GP is go. Great. Just trying to get this back up again. Oh, bit of contact still by the start. Joni's dropped a few spots off the start. There, it's an Aston Martin 1-2 at the minute. He's Going back 3 wide with the Haas and the Mercedes. I think he's going to try and loop it back around the outside of Reese back into P3. And that was
unfortunately had a bit of a spin at the start for Baby Hornet, and he unfortunately span into Armar Red, and they both ended up in the wall.
Oh, Jules, I think, has gone straight on down turn 4 as Johnny's managed to get back past Ant. He takes back the 2nd place. As I'm gonna have a quick.
Benny's making a bit of air behind him already.
Yeah, he's running off for the hills already. Not many movers off for the start. Jules, unfortunately, he's had the worst. Not the best first lap, as I say. He's down 5 spots. Probably the biggest winners are back down towards the back of the grid, with Lorpe up 4, Airways up a couple of spots. Everyone else seems to be just up 1 from the Jules incident. As we'll get rid of that quickly. Oh, we'll put the tyre back on.
It's not an easy track to pass that until you get the DRS, to be honest with you.
No, as I'm going. Speaking of which, Dynamite just goes around the outside of Reese.
Ugoni and Ant and Benny are very close together, as we predicted. Ant's already looking a bit frisky as well.
And this is going to help Ben a lot as well, to have his teammate up there. Because if... Sorry, you were going to say?
Once that DRS activates, I think Ant's going to be on the move very quickly. He's hunting already, look at him.
Yeah, he's not pulling any punches tonight at all, is he?
Well, he's waving himself around in Ugoni's wing mirrors, that's for sure.
Yeah, he's making that Aston Martin quite big in there, just going, you remember me, Ugoni, I'm still here. You can't drop me that easy.
We've got some fighting happening further back, I think. Yeah, it's Mahmudev, Nick and Nev are all having a bit of a battle there.
Let's go quick now to have a quick look at it, see what's happening up there.
There's 5 people all weaving in and out of each other back there, actually.
Oh, just managed to get through, just going through the chicane. It's absolute chaos.
It is.
Chris is pretty much pushing the McLaren around the corner. Pushing the Mercedes around the corner, sorry.
Now things have settled down a little bit. Ugoni looks quite comfortable behind Benny, and Ant's actually lost a little bit of ground.
Yeah, he has. Ugoni's still one of the cooler customers still in the championship. He doesn't really falter under pressure.
No, I think Ant's having to push quite hard to stay with him, actually. I'm quite surprised by that.
Yep, as Ugoni takes the lead into the pig's rear.
Ugoni does have the medium, though, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's going to have to run for the hills now to try and break away from the Aston Martins. Cause
Did you say runt for the hills, like a pig?
Oh, instead of the swear jar, we're going to have the pig jar tonight.
Yes.
Oh dear. Kid and Reese are still quite jammed together a little bit at the minute. They've been at each other's throats for the last 2 laps.
Yeah, Reese looks like he's ready to pounce, doesn't he, actually?
He does, and Kid's not been able to break away from him yet, but these two have not dropped away from the front 3 yet.
Reese looks like he's being held back to me. Reese looks like he's got more pace.
You think so?
Yeah, he looks like he's taking totally different lines to Kid, and looks to me like he's got a lot more to give.
Possibly may have to. It depends if he gets a good run off this next corner, going onto the back straight.
If you just look at how closely he's able to follow in Kid's wheel tracks, he just looks really, really like he's got a lot more pace.
Yeah, the Haas looks really planted tonight.
Mm.
And that one, I think he's got quite a lot of confidence. And I think Kid is going to actually have a go at Ant. Managed to get him under the DRS as Ben retakes the lead.
It could be Ant that's causing the bottleneck, actually, because obviously Reese has gone through as well.
So now we'll see if Reese does have the pace, as I say, to break through, or to break away, or if it was the little bottleneck at there. And a bit of yellow flag just down the back. Is that one? Yeah, it looks like one of the Ferraris. I think it's Mudev. Bit of an incident.
I actually can't. I actually highlighted him, and he's barely moving. That's what he must have been very stuck in a wall there. He's obviously gone down the escape road.
Yeah, yellow flags. No safety car yet, which is very nice.
Yeah, he's got damage. He's going to be pitting in.
Yeah, still easy to get track limits even for the pit lane here.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it gives you a good whack round the chops. It's do you know what? The track limits here are a swine. A swine.
Yeah, I heard you.
I said a swine. Oh,
I heard you.
my humour is just wasted, honestly.
Oh dear. Hey, maybe the guy who made this track to hope was a Simpsons fan. We don't know.
I think he probably is, of Spider-Pig.
That's the one. As we're gonna have another Reese versus Kid duel number. I've lost count already. It's only been 4 laps.
Yeah, there's like a mini DRS train there, isn't there?
Yeah, there is, and Joni's not getting back up to Ben as quickly.
I think Ben's probably using his ERS pretty carefully there to do that.
You think he's trying to break away?
I think he's saving deployment wherever he can, and then, like, you know, just like splattering it all down that main straight to get to kind of keep that gap. I think so. But this main 5 now is broken away. Oh yeah, they have, haven't they? Yeah, Sam's dropped back by 4 seconds.
Yeah, as well. And it's about half a second with Joni and Ben. Another couple of tenths back from Kid Dynamite as Reese right up his gearbox.
You can see what I mean. Reese just looks like he's desperate to get through, doesn't he? Just the body language of his car looks very
aggressive.
Yeah, frustrated maybe.
Well, he's just. I noticed his writs coming from myself. He's just got to keep the patience a little bit more and see if he can time the move a bit better and try and catch Kid off guard. Really.
Yeah, he just needs to be a bit pig-headed. Pig-headed!
I heard you.
Oh, almighty. Tough crowd.
Oh dear. Oh, we'll deal with this all. This will be happening all night.
Sorry about that.
Don't worry, it's fine. We'll be here over this all night now as Kid has decided to get into the fight now. And Reese.
Yeah, Eugeni's lost out there, hasn't he? I guess we're at that point where those mediums are going to be suffering, aren't we?
I think we are, because it's getting towards, I think you said lap 6, 7, lap 8, I believe?
About 8, they start feeling a bit slidey. I found it's quite easy to lose the rear on the mediums after lap 8 if you're not careful, on full tanks in particular. Yeah,
especially around the corner going onto the back straight, still that high curb. I think I clipped that inside curb a few times and it nearly spun the car.
Yeah, definitely.
At least once or twice now. But yeah, Kid and Reese are looking quite punchy now, and I think Ben's going to have not 1 but 2 challenges to deal with simultaneously.
Yeah, I mean the other thing that starts happening as those mediums are wear is you'll start getting rear locking as well. And you'll start to hear the tyres squeal.
I know. Oh dear. No, as we have another change for the lead, and another change for second as well. Kid and Reese, they've said to Ben and Joni now, right, we've done following you two now, you're going to follow us for a few laps. I don't think Reese is going to try and get him into turn 1.
He is. Yeah, ooh,
that was a bit argy-bargy.
Yeah, well, this is what I was saying. It looked to me like Reese was the one who had lots of pace there. Let's see what happens now he's at the front.
Yeah, see if he can break away.
I mean, the thing is, he's now got the disadvantage of being Mr. Tow Truck, hasn't he?
Yeah, pretty much. He's going to have to try and break away from Kid, Ben and Joni just before that back straight enough to defend the position off. Otherwise, he's going to find himself swallowed pretty much back up again into the by the end of the straight, and it's all going to repeat itself. Ben very squarely there, well held.
You know what? Reese is going to be hoping that Haas's engine's got plenty of grunt.
Yeah, he's going to have to, otherwise he's going to be sitting duck. I know.
Oh.
Oh, I'm not going to be able to keep a straight face for the rest of the night now.
Well, it sounds like you're trying pretty hard. You're such a bore.
I know.
A bore!
Oh dear.
I will try to stop, I'm sorry.
Don't worry, it's fine. It's fine, as Reese is overtaken by Kid and Ben into the back part of the circuit, as we finish up with lap 7 going on to lap 8 now, and this is going to, as you say, this is going to be starting to wonder now when New Journeys may have to pit away from these guys.
He's probably praying for a safety car, isn't he?
He is a little bit.
Yellow in sector 3 there, but not sure what's caused that. There's no one in sector 3. It's a bit weird.
Think it's possibly Nev.
It's a slow moving car, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, Hornet's in the pits. Yeah, Hornet and Nev are both in the pits. I think there's been some sort of incident between the two. As Nev, unfortunately, is parked in the pit lane for tonight. Which is unfortunate, but as you say, as I was going to say, the problem is for Eugenie now. There's no real gap for him to drop into if he's to pit.
No, it's a tricky one because he's on the favourable strategy, but because there hasn't been a safety car, the hard is now looking like the favourable strategy, isn't it?
It is.
Having said that, I mean, if there isn't a safety car, it will all work out in the wash. I'd be tempted to get in off them and start getting some sort of tyre delta.
Yeah, I think he's going to need to.
As Jules gets 3 seconds there.
Yeah, that's the first one of the night. Yeah, but I think I'm just looking around that gap towards the back. So I think it's between baby Hornet Error Voice. If we was to drop into there, maybe.
Yeah, well, I mean, as I say, everyone's going to have to stop, aren't they? It's not like anyone has stopped yet, so it will all even out. At the moment, though, I mean, this. He's going to have to take him as long as he probably can, I guess. I mean, he's not losing out massively, but he is going to have to pit before everyone else is. That's for sure. If it carries on this way, I mean, I imagine he'll probably go to like 12, maybe.
Yeah, that's probably the push. I think
I'd still be tempted to get off him now because the only way he's going to make any progress really is to undercut. So I would go for the strategy move.
Get the hard temperature.
Hard was still in good condition at the end of the race, and I pitted in on lap 8, I think it was, and did 17 laps on them. That
was the safety car, wasn't it, in our race?
Yeah, but still, after 17 laps, they still had plenty of life in them. So at this point, he could go in, he could get an undercut. He'd probably, knowing, obviously he's got the speed. Obviously, he would actually make up time.
Yeah, he'd be pretty much all by himself. Yeah, but he can just pump in qualifying laps, pretty much.
Yeah, he'd have track position at least if he did. At least on a, he might find himself second, possibly. Once things shake out, if he did get in and try to go for that tyre advantage, but he stayed out again, so he's clearly heading for that standard pit stop window.
Yeah, 12-13.
But yeah, I mean, I just found that at this point, he's starting to lose out, isn't he? He's actually getting dropped.
He's dropping away from Reese, Dynamite, and Ben.
This is the point where they did start feeling a bit leery. I mean, I found I had to unwind a bit of the diff to stop the rear end feeling quite so
slippery.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna be under risk from Ant soon if he's not too careful.
Yeah, you just start losing that out of corner traction and stuff, which makes all the difference.
Yeah, especially down this traction zone here. going onto the straight, because if you mess up that corner, you're just wrecking momentum pretty much all the way down the straight. You're just carrying it all the way down.
Yeah, I mean things could get spicy later on. You know, like Pepper Pig.
Another good one.
It wasn't. I'm really struggling to think of words to do with pig at the moment.
I'm going to have a quick glance down towards Saviour and Calvin, having a quick battle, just going into the last part of the lap. As Rujoni has pitted finally.
Yeah, it's just at the start of that window. Yeah.
So
I mean, he's going to be far. He's going to have more pace now. It's how he can deploy that. Where's he going to come out? He's coming out. Yeah, he's got a decent. He's going to have a bit of a gap where he's coming out.
He's going to
have that Red Bull is going to be which is Era Voice. It's gone behind him. That's lucky. So he has got a bit of space in front of him.
Yeah, terrible.
He's going to catch those Saubers pretty quickly, but that's probably going to be advantageous because he's going to get some DRS now, which obviously the guys at the front aren't going to be benefiting from in quite the same way. So
he's not
the pace
far
advantage
behind.
Plus DRS.
They're on similar parts of the circuit. Actually, so he's not really dropped that too far there, and if he can get through the rest of this traffic a little bit quicker, because they're going to be pitting in the next few laps anyway.
Yeah.
He could be onto something here, but we will see. As I'm going to jump back up quickly to the front four and see what fights they've been getting up to again. Kids managed to break away a little bit more now.
Yeah, I think it's probably worth snouting around and seeing what other people are up to.
Oh no! Oh dear.
I'm just trying to earn my bacon, alright?
More of a sausage man myself, but there we go. No, I've probably said that badly out of context, but there we go. Walked into that one.
That's what she said.
Giggity. Oh dear. Oh, at least you can't say we don't have fun on a Monday night.
Yeah, you put your trotters straight into that one.
Yeah, I did just a bit. Just have a look at Jules quickly a second. I thought I saw if he had a bit of damage on the car then. No, just the camera.
So Ugoni isn't. Yeah, he's catching pretty quickly now. Actually, isn't it? It's taking him a lap, but he's right there now.
He's up with the Saubers. He's got this. He's got this pretty big gap to get through. He's got this pretty big gaggle cars to get through though, because as soon as he gets the Saubers done, he's got the McLaren V-Carb and the Alpine.
He's being held up there actually. Laupi looked a lot slower through there than Ugoni wanted to be, so that's not going to be helping his undercut.
No, but I think should get him down the straight. I think.
Yeah, he's clearly wandering all over the track trying to show that he's there.
Trying to put him off a bit.
Well, just sort of say, look, we're not in the same race. Get out of the way.
He should have him now. I mean, he's just blasted past him on the straight.
Don't
you think he used the wing then?
No, he's not opening DRS. That's a bit odd. I'm not sure that was deliberate.
I don't really know what advantage he would have got to not using it.
Yeah, no. I mean, he was definitely within the detection zone, so he was right on. He was right in the diffuser of an Alpine. So
yeah, that's it. That's in the detection zone. Well,
must have been a bit of finger trouble.
Yeah, possibly. Probably could just have been a bit tactical to try to psych him out a bit.
There wouldn't be a lot of benefit in that. It's the speed he wants.
Yeah,
speed equals time.
Just keeping an eye, just with this, still with this fight with Saviour Calvin and Chris.
Got Mark H off back there as well, unfortunately.
Oh, Hodgie.
Has he got? I don't think he's got damage. No, he's back on track again now. But yeah, he's been on a bit of a magical mystery tour there. Truffle hunting, I think he was.
Yeah, I think
truffle hunting.
Mark, you've got to wait until after the race to go to casinos.
You search for truffles with pigs, by the way.
I know.
Just saying.
We'll hit the quota for the end of the night.
Is the quota?
I don't know.
No one told me there's a quota. I'll work harder.
Oh dear. Oh, I don't think I'll stop laughing for the end of the night if that's the case.
So, back up at the front, these three are still glued together.
They'll be able to draw the backs of each other's cars from memory tonight.
Ant is looking out of sorts, isn't he?
He's dropped back a lot. Nearly 4 seconds.
I mean, he's pushing harder to go slower, effectively.
Yeah, he's really dropped off.
Yeah, I mean, he's using a lot of energy, and you know, he's clearly. But the thing is, he's fallen out of that DRS train, and it's murder. That happened to me in Tier 2 tonight. Made a little error, right where Ant just made a little error, in fact. Dropped out of DRS, and I was just toasted. I couldn't get back into it again, and just drove around for 10 laps, 10 or 15 laps. You know, just watching the others disappear off up the road because they'd all got DRS.
Yeah, he's in a bit of no man's land at the moment.
Yeah, it's again like Monza. If you fall out of DRS, you're just absolutely
toast.
Stuffed. Like pork stuffing.
Oh yeah. Oh. You're making all the audience hungry tonight. Oh dear. I suppose one advantage though to Ant probably having the gap that he's got is means the Astons can double stack if necessary.
So I hadn't been keeping an eye on it, but Ujoni is now chasing down Calvin. What's the gap to the leader? So the gap to the I'm not sure what a pit stop is here. He's now 19 seconds off the leader.
It's not a long pit lane though, is it?
It's not. It's a slow entry. It's very, very easy to get the entry wrong on this pit lane, isn't it? So you have to be a bit cautious around that blind left as you go into the pit.
Yeah, it's the
slow
limit line
exit as well.
Yeah, because it's on the inside of turn 1, isn't it? So it's and there, but Joni's going to be hitting a lot more, few more cars. I think he'll hit.
Well, I hope he's not going to hit any.
No, he's going to hit.
Bad.
He'll hit the Calvin Saviour Bailey fight as Calvin's round.
Oh, yeah, damage as well, unfortunately.
Yeah, I just saw him as he come through. He's in the front wing.
Yeah, and obviously those hards are now reaching the end of their life. That's the thing.
Yeah, so it's the crossover point now, pretty much.
Not the end of their life, just the end of their sprightly feeling life.
Yeah, then
they fade away rather than drop off. But the thing is, when things fade away, it's sometimes easy to just suddenly have a moment of traction loss because you're in a rhythm and not really thinking about it. And you haven't noticed that tyres have crept up to 25% or something, and suddenly your rear end's a bit loose.
Yeah, and you end up backwards like Calvin does. It is unfortunate, but I've just seen who's back on track again, literally next to each other. Will there ever be a race where Chris and Saviour do not end up on track together?
I was just thinking that they're a bit out of position tonight, aren't they?
They are. It's little bit below par. Not below par. A little bit not as good a performance.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
I don't want to. I can't really critique either of them. I mean, they've had a lot more success in MRC than I have, but
yeah, I'm not sure Saviour really hooks up round here because he didn't look that happy in X on Friday either. Actually,
it got to a wet race, didn't it? Here, if I remember right, from what I've heard from a few drives.
Lovely. Enjoyed that.
I would not want to go around here in the wet.
Oh, I love the wet. I always get excited when it starts raining.
Especially with some good races we've had in IRL in the past in the rain.
Yeah. So Ugoni's now coming down towards 18.5 seconds behind. That's got to be bringing him up.
It's got to be in the window soon.
Yeah, I mean, the guys at the front. I mean, they probably want to be thinking about pulling the. I was going to say pulling the button. That's not right, is it? You don't pull buttons.
Pulling the trigger.
pushing the trigger, pulling the button.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're still fighting each other, though.
Yeah, this is the thing, is they're going to be blinkered to what's happening behind, because they're all going to be thinking, well, I don't want to get undercut by the car behind me or the car in front of me. They're all going to wait to see who pulls the trigger. Kids in a really difficult position. It was a hell of a race, to be fair to them. All three of them still right together after 17 laps.
Yeah, especially on all hard tyres as well. These are the tyres they started on.
But he is in... I suppose he's becoming an increasingly advantageous position in that if he goes in now, the others really have to go with him, because they're not going to overcut him. That's for sure.
Not round here.
If I was him, I would be in. I would get off those tyres right away, because
stick the mediums on, get a good run out of them.
Yeah. The thing at the moment is that I don't know. I suppose actually Ugoni is now back into DRS range again. He's got a couple of cars to DRS down the back straight once he gets to it. But he's losing out in the complex. That's the problem. He's not getting past these guys. So he's all the way through sector 2. He's just like sitting, losing time basically.
Especially as well. Could the front runners try and put the softs on towards the end of this race? Yeah, I mean, you could. I mean, the hards would do that. It's only 8 laps to the end. You could put the softs on now probably and make it to the end pretty happily, but they feel pretty rubbish after a handful of laps. Ugoni's not making progress at the moment. He's stuck. I think if it was,
there we go. He's making a move in a non-DRS zone. That's the.
Yeah, he's up the inside of Chris, going onto the front straight, the start finish straight. You did. That'll free him up to get past Xavier, because he's not in that mini DRS train anymore. Yeah, I think if there's going to be 2 drivers, I wouldn't want to be stuck behind battling each other. It would be Chris and Xavier. Yeah. So here he goes.
Guys at the front are still staying out.
Now Johnny's past Xavier. He's got that free air again. Yeah.
But now he's got a big gap. He's got no DRS in front of him for 3 seconds now, has he? So
yeah, 3 seconds up to G Star and Jules in 5th and 6th.
I think the
just saw that.
A bit of a wall back. Yeah, so he's now. It's just what pace he needs to really get on the loud pedal at this point and start doing some stellar laps if he wants this to work.
It's hammer time, isn't it? Really.
I don't think he would say that. He's an Italian who loves Ferrari.
He'll get used to hearing it next year.
This is true. I don't know. Does Bono go into Ferrari?
No, I think he's stopping at Mercedes, actually.
See, that surprises me. I thought Bono might follow him, but...
they're still staying out.
Well, yeah. The thing is, he's now... So Ugoni's fallen back behind Xavier again. Because he couldn't pull away.
Yeah, I'm just having a quick look at the stops. We've only had a handful of cars actually take stops at the minute.
But he's not making any ground.
He's not.
Literally, the last 4 laps, he's been 16.5 seconds roughly behind, and it's not changed. The flip side is that those guys at the front, they're clearly going to go for a soft. Those guys at the front are going to have less time to overhaul Ugoni, because I think Ugoni is going to undercut him, isn't he?
I think he's the highest car that's stopped at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, he has now just taken a chunk of time out. He's going to find a second this lap, actually. Now he's clearly there. And he's kind of not fighting Xavier.
Yeah, he's the highest pit stop
just
car.
Just inside DRS, isn't he? I don't think Xavier's going to get back past him at this point, though.
No, I think he's too far behind.
No, I thought I saw someone going to the pits, but I didn't. These 3 at the front, nobody wants to blink first, do they?
No, 5 laps to go. They're going to have to sooner or later.
Is it going to be this lap? Let's see what happens this lap. So Benny's got past Kid. Yeah, I didn't know. Yeah. So this is.
Did I just see rain? It's raining.
Oh. Yeesh. Yeah, it is, you're right. That's why those guys have stayed out, isn't it? They've been trying to see whether the rain came. Now they've got a tricky decision. How quickly is this rain going to develop? Is it going to turn into an inter-race before the end? Or is softs going to do the job? Because I'm assuming that those guys have gone to softs, right?
Kid went to mediums, actually.
They've gone... Chris and G-Star have gone to inters. Kid's gone to mediums. They can't have had any softs left.
Yeah, must have used all sets up after qualifying.
Yeah. Oh, well... So...
I think
Kid
it's too early.
Kid's
I think Chris has gone too
behind Ugoni.
Is the track wet enough for intermediates at the moment?
It's deceptive sometimes, though.
Chris doesn't look he doesn't look terribly slow. But I don't know whether the track's, as you said, you don't know whether the track's going to get wet enough.
Is Kid going to make and pass? Is he going to make 4 seconds or whatever it is on Ugoni and pass him in the next 5 laps? Is the question.
That's the £1 million question. They're both Reese and Ben are coming in.
He's got Saviour in the middle, but Saviour has yet to stop as well. Oh, these guys are fighting into the pit lane entrance there.
10 seconds for Reese.
Oh, yeah, he did rear end him, unfortunately, under breaking into the pit lane. That's kind of what I meant, really.
Yeah.
This is a bit of a...
They're on inters.
Ugoni's going to be on the wrong tyre. So's Kid, maybe? Oh, what's happened there? Oh, Ugoni's pitted.
VSC.
Oh, that's nice timing for Ugoni because he's literally in the pit lane right now. This is interesting. I'm not sure how this is going to shake out, but Ugoni's obviously not going to be in front anymore, unfortunately for him.
Everybody's switching to inters now.
That's worked out beautiful. Oh, Jules has got a drive through there.
Speeding under VSC. The RS is still enabled though.
It must have just come back on again for that message, mustn't it?
Yeah, it's still not been disabled though, so which is why I don't think it's wet enough at the moment. I think Kid's still maybe in the pound seat here.
Oh, I don't know. I think the thing is the inters can go. The inters can be they can be pretty good in the dry. To be honest with you, the inters. I mean, we've seen Ant do some interesting things on inters, haven't we? In the dry.
Yeah, I think he does that deliberately, still messes up the. Even gets them mixed up half the time. But
so unfortunately, that was working for Ugoni, and now it's not. Unfortunately.
Yeah, I feel unfortunate for Reese as well, especially with the incident he had.
Yeah.
It looked like a light tap, but
he sort of slid into him and banged into his diffuser, didn't he? But
yeah, I think that's gonna be in the stewards. I think before the end of the race, should be at the end of the race, shouldn't it?
Yeah, Kid is on the less favourable tyre. He's dropping away quickly, actually.
Yeah,
he's losing a tenth every corner.
Yeah, the gap's up near to 4 seconds now.
Yeah,
I think it's gonna. I think you are right. I think it's dropping away from Ant's pitting. Just having a quick check of the car, see if he's had any damage.
Not.
Why is he pitted again?
He's coming out, isn't he now? So I can't tell you.
Yeah, very odd. Yeah, Kid's out of this now. I think it's.
Well, he's still going to be on the podium, I suspect. He's got a decent gap behind him. Plus, Jules has a penalty, doesn't he? He
does drive through.
Yeah, which he needs to get on and serve, because if he's not careful, if the safety car, well, not the safety car's not going to come out, but can you serve a drive through under a VSC?
I don't think you can. I think you can do the 10 seconds.
Yeah.
I think you can do the 10 seconds, but not the drive-through.
There you go, DRS disabled.
So, Kid, get in the pits and change tyres.
Of course, the other thing is, yeah, so at the moment, Kid's looking at P2, isn't he?
He is, yeah, especially with the Reese penalty, but...
And Ugoni's going to be podium.
He should do.
I suspect he's going to be poked. Oh no!
Oh God,
no,
Kid is looking very leery through these corners.
Benny looks like he's out for blood. He doesn't need to make this move, obviously.
He wants to win it on track. He wants to win it for pride.
Yeah.
I suppose that's pretty much what we all want to do as a racing driver anyway, win it on track.
Mm.
Well, these two have just been glued together pretty much the whole race.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's going to be basically out of the top 5. There's 3 people who aren't going to be on the podium.
Yeah, it's unfortunately the ones with the penalties.
Hmm.
Again, Eugeni's looking like he's going to look. He wants to try and take Jules, but again, he doesn't really need to make the move.
No. And he's not. I mean, you know, whatever it is, 2 and a bit laps to go. He's not going to
risk it, is he really?
Well, he's not going to close the gap in front of him, is he? What he does want to do is minimise the time to Benny, but he's not got these. Because Reese. What happens if Reese doesn't? Not Reese. What happens if Jules doesn't take his drive through? He'll get disqualified, won't he?
He'll either be disqualified or at the time on his Kids.
Oh. What happened there?
I think Kid's tyres have. I think he's running out of grip.
Yeah, I just wasn't looking. Just assumed that. Yeah, he's just been passed, hasn't he?
Yeah, by Eugeni and by Jules, and I think he's going to be under. He should be pretty much a target for Saviour and Chris as well. I think before the end, he's literally just tiptoeing around.
Running out of time though.
One more lap. Penultimate lap of this. Jules is in.
This race hasn't worked out for Ant at all, has it?
No, he's really fallen. He's fallen off.
Well, he had that extra stop, didn't he? Whatever that was about.
Very weird one.
But yeah, there you go. So things have sort of remixed at the front, haven't they?
They have a little bit, and Joni's still no man's land, and Reese and Ben are still fighting up on there. But if it was to finish as it is now, just trying to see who actually might have the fastest lap. Actually, it's Kid.
Oh.
So he should maybe get the bonus point in this one. So it'll only be if the Reese penalty was to stand after the race, it would only be 7 points that he's dropping Ujoni in the title race. So that'll only still make it 21 going into the final 2 races.
So Benny's going for it on Reese right now.
Yeah, he's just trying to get it around the outside. If he can get it stopped.
This is risky. Oh. Just needed Reese to understeer a little bit, and suddenly Benny doesn't win the race.
Yeah, and that's an Aston Martin in the wall, and you've lost more points in the championship.
Of course, I mean the thing is, when it comes to penalties, you never know what's going to actually be you could be in a situation whereby that penalty might be something that's it could be glitchy. You don't know what's going to happen until things work out in the post stewarding wash. So it's always easy to say you don't need to go past, but actually sometimes you do, because you don't know. Yeah,
always good to have the safety net, isn't it? Especially as we head on towards the final lap now. This race has flown by tonight. Non-stop,
yeah, it has to be
non-stop fun.
Bruce has just picked up another 3.
That's...
Oh goodness, he's going to be wishing he was just a little bit closer, isn't he?
Yeah, 2 seconds. I think that's probably putting the nail in the coffin for Reese, unfortunately. And that one as we head onto the back straight for the last time tonight. Last down past all the casinos for the final time. As we come down towards the back end of the straight, there's Reese. Is he going to try and sneak up the inside again? Nope.
Yeah, I think that would be a little bit
Optimistic.
inadvisable was actually the word I was going to use.
Yeah.
When you've got 13 seconds of penalties, making a bit of a mistake under braking into the final corner against the leader who's penalty free wouldn't be a cool look.
As Ben takes another emphatic win on this one. Reese takes P2 on the track. Now, where is Ujoni going to fall?
Well, there's no reason why he won't be third. Yep, there you go.
Yep, he takes P3 on the road. Fantastic drive from Xavier through to P4.
And yeah, again, Xavier and Chris have been somewhere quite close to each other for a whole race again.
They have, and fairly quiet, as I say, takes the P6. He unfortunately fell off a little bit during that race.
Yeah, he just didn't have the pace. I didn't want to say it at the time because obviously, in terms of tactical advantages for people, but I did notice that he was having to absolutely rinse through his ERS to stay anywhere near the front view. They were all up in the 80s and 90s on their ERS, and he was down in the sort of 20s and 30s at one point.
Wow.
So he's clearly he's clearly got a good quali setup, but maybe not such a raceable one.
Oh, a little bit of a crash in the end. I think one of the Hasses was off a little bit as we get the last few cars around.
Yes, there's a car without a wheel there. That's Laupi.
Yeah, I think it was Sam Flan who was the Haas.
Yeah, in fact, the Haas has lost its wheel as well, hasn't it? Actually, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was the Haas off that caused the problem. Is getting Baby Hornet through in 16th.
Oh, what did he spin as he came around the final corner and then?
Yeah, I think he did.
Laupi's crashed into him.
Yeah, Angie 17th, and I think the last car over the line will be Mudev, and that completes the Vegas GP.
They're going to be coming around the corner thinking, "What the hell's going on?"
Let's see who gets to drive it down.
Well, that's
Game gives it to Chris.
It's a left field choice.
I think I'm going to have to give it to Ben. No, it's the boring choice.
It is hard to see elsewhere, simply because of the fact that he's just obviously excelled, doesn't he? Chris did come from 11th to 5th, to be fair.
He did.
I was forgetting how far down he qualified. Nick BT's come from 13th through to 8th as well.
Oh, fantastic result for my Aston Martin teammate in Tier 2.
So, the fact is that Benny didn't put a foot wrong. No penalties whilst others were losing their heads. Made his strategy calls work perfectly. Ugoni could have won that race, which is a bit mad considering how far behind he was.
Yeah, if he probably went on the hard tyres probably at the start, I think probably might fit with everyone.
Or just the rain hadn't happened quite the way it had happened.
Yeah,
I
can agree with that.
A
lot of ifs, buts, and what could have happened, but unfortunately, I'm not going to get straight to the end of the stream because the lobby's going to finish before I get to see the order again.
Are you making a purse out of a sow's ear or something?
A little bit.
Yeah. Making a pig's. Well, you're certainly making a pig's ear of it.
Yeah, I did a little bit on that one, but I think it was the game just decided to flash it up quickly before we go. But that is the Vegas GP, but it won't be our last stop here in Vegas for the week. Everybody,
we've got 2 more races on Wednesday, so we've got Tier 3 at 7 and MRC-X. X-treme.
Got to put the treme on there.
At 8:45 again. Hoping for a full no assists, full wet race, please. That'd be nice.
I think you're absolutely crazy, but I don't believe we have X on Friday for this week, do we?
No, because we're hitting the Christmas break, aren't we?
Yes, we've got no racing for, is it the 2 weeks, I believe we're off over Christmas. We're not back until first week of January, if I'm not mistaken. Checking.
Calendar, there we go. Qatar is the next race on the 3rd of January, which is actually an F2 race in MRC-X.
That sounds like it's going to be fun. Be a fun one, but you still have the other 2 races to enjoy this week. So Once again, Martin, thanks again for joining me on this one.
No problem at all. It's been fun. I ran out of pig puns about halfway through, so sorry about that.
No worries again, but we'll see you all on Wednesday for the Tier 3 race, followed by the X-treme, and unfortunately, as I say, we'll have a Christmas break straight after that. So happy holidays to everybody. Take care, and we'll see you all another time. Take care, all.
See you soon.